Good morning, everybody. We are going to be talking about non-renewable energy, specifically fossil fuels today, and even more specifically coal, which is going to be part one of your notes, which you'll be able to grab out in Google Classroom. So if you want to grab those and get started, you can obviously pause this slide anytime you need to grab any of the notes. So non-renewable energy are resources that do not replenish within the time frame of human society. So these are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years to replenish. Fossil fuels, nuclear power, so uranium is what powers nuclear power plants, and that is very limited on Earth. Fossil fuels are formed of non-renewable energy that arises from the remains of living organisms over millions of years. So coal, oil, and natural gas is what we're kind of referring to with fossil fuels. Coal, hopefully, as you read in the Newsella article, is a hard blackish substance that is formed from plant matter that's been highly compressed and pressured. And there are different variations of coal. We have our lowest kind of heat and energy source with peat, all the way up into anthracite there on the far right. So 80% compared to less than 20% in peat. So again, the far right is going to have a lot more energy to give off than the peat energy, or the peat coal. So most of this coal formed during the Carboniferous period. So this was between 360 and 300 million years ago. You can kind of see it on the graph over here. Also in the Paleozoic era in Pennsylvania and Mississippian periods. So during this period, much of Earth's experienced a tropical climate. Average temperature was 68 degrees compared to 55.5 in the 20th century. So current, differences, 12 to 13 degrees Fahrenheit. Over the next several million years, photosynthesis rates surpassed those of combustion and respiration, which altered the carbon and oxygen cycles. So the oxygen levels increased from 21 to 35, and the CO2 levels decreased from 1,500 parts per million to 350 parts per million. So some definite changes there. And with that decrease in CO2, the greenhouse effect actually decreased as well, which caused the climate to become colder, and glaciers started to expand. You kind of see a couple changes there. And then these glacial changes actually deposited this coal to different areas, and the largest carnivorous swamps are where these coal deposits ended up. So you can kind of see them on the map, a lot in the United States, and a lot in Eastern Europe and Asia as well. So some environmental effects of coal mining. So obviously when we are mining the coals, water can seep through coal mines, dissolving minerals and creating acid mine drainage. So this then leads to acidic, metallic, and toxic properties, leading to animals and plants, that drink the water, potentially even onto humans. So here's some information on the right as well with acid mine draining. So during mining, pyrite is exposed, groundwater seeps into the mine, oxygen, water, and pyrite react to form sulfuric acid and in turn dissolve metals from the rocks. Then that water drains out of the mine. Those dissolved metals react with oxygen and fall out of solution into the stream or water, turning it a bright color. So aquatic animals and plants are often killed by this drainage. So again, that then obviously affects the rest of the ecosystem. So acid mine drainage is often rust color due to that high iron content. Workers in underground mines are exposed to high amounts of coal dust, which can eventually lead to black lung disease. So again, this is some effects on humans. So again, just kind of keep in mind all those effects. That is the end of this part of the slides. We will work on the next in the next few days.